Namaste, welcome to the session. Myself, Girish S, working as a lecturer in Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering at Government Polytechnic, Kushalnagar. Today I am discussing about the topic, the maintenance of different types of circuit breakers. We have discussed in the previous session the types of or classification of circuit breakers are based on the media used for arc extension. Usually, the medium used for arc extension is as air, oil, SF6 gas, and vacuum. So therefore, the following are some of the important types of circuit breakers. The first one is oil circuit breaker. The second one is air blast circuit breaker. The third one is sulfur hexafluoride circuit breaker, that is SF6 circuit breaker, and last one is vacuum circuit breaker. In any power system, for any devices or machinery for operations, it requires maintenance. That is why the circuit breakers also required for maintenance scheduled during their operations. So hence, the first point, the maintenance of oil circuit breaker. The maintenance of oil circuit breaker requires the checking of contacts and also the dielectric strength of the oil, because oil circuit breaker mainly consisting of two contacts, one is fixed and another one is movable, and these contacts are enclosed by a metal tank and finally is immersed in the oil. Therefore, so in the oil circuit breaker, the two important requirement of parts or quantity. So one is called contacts, another one is called transformer oil. We have already discussed the transformer oil having high dielectric strength and high thermal conductivity and also very good insulating property. So here, the maintenance of oil circuit breaker requires the checking of the contacts as well as the oil. After a circuit breaker has interrupt the fault current, its contacts may get burned by arcing, and also the oil loses some property of dielectric strength due to caramelization. This results the rupturing capacity of the circuit breaker reduces. Therefore, it is very good practice to inspect or check the circuit breaker at a regular interval of a month of 3 to 6. So during the inspection of the breaker, the following points to be kept in view. So if you observe the first point, the circuit breaker should kept in the view of maintaining the oil circuit breaker. First one is check the current carrying ports and arcing contacts. If the burning is severe, then the contact should be replaced. Definitely, the interruption taken by the circuit breaker, fault current interrupted, the contacts may burn severely by arcing. Hence, the first maintenance schedule is check the current carrying parts and also arcing contacts if the burning is severe. So what is the conclusion? What is the remedy? The contact should be replaced. The second one, check the dielectric strength of the oil. If the oil is badly discolored, it should be changed or reconditioned. So definitely after the interruption of the fault current by the circuit breaker, the dielectric strength of the oil loses their property due to the carbonization. Hence, check the strength of the oil, dielectric strength of the oil. If in case the oil is badly discolored, it loses their dielectric strength property, it should be changed or reconditioned. So next maintenance, check the insulation for possible damage, clean the contact surface and remove the carbon deposition. The interruption of the fault current, the contacts definitely burned by arcing. Hence, so every inspection duration of the time, so clean the contact surface and remove the carbon deposition due to the arc interruption. So next, check the oil level. So because oil is one of the important quantity in the oil circuit breaker, so some oil level is necessary during their operations of the circuit breaker. Hence, every scheduled of checking the level of oil should be checked. So next one, check the closing and tripping mechanism. We know circuit breaker operations by trip mechanism. So trip mechanism means the relay of the circuit so detect the fault, and so this tripping of the relay tripping coil sends the interruption of the circuit breakers. Hence, every time check the closing of the contacts, that is moving and fixed contact, and also trip mechanism. So next, check the indicating device and lamps. So oil level is either a definite oil or lower oil level indicated by some indicating device, or some lamp is indicated. So check the indicating device and lamps. So next, second type of circuit breaker is air blast circuit breaker. So here also some of the important maintenance is needed for air blast circuit breaker. So the first important requirement is insulation. So insulation, clean oil all the insulating material with vacuum and recommended solvents. Ensure that insulation is clean and dry. So insulation's level of the material with vacuum as well as the required recommended solvent can be used to insulate the given requirements. The second one, contacts. So definitely here also the two contacts within the in the oil circuit breaker similar to the in the air blast circuit breaker similar to the oil circuit breaker. So one is fixed contacts and another one is movable contact. So you ensure that all the contacts are clean, either fixed or movable. The surface of the contact should be cleaned and also smooth in proper alignment. So the fixed as well as the movable contact should be aligned in a proper way. And also check the spring pressure and clean silver contacts using non-abrasive So the moving as well as the fixed contacts. So the gap variation by the spring pressure. So this pressure of the spring can be checked every scheduled of maintenance. Next one, arc interruption. So definitely here also the arc is interrupted between the two contacts. So remove the dirt and moisture in all ceramic material and check for cracked or broken pieces. Remove dirt and deposits using sandpaper. So the arc interruption is taken by the media used as a air. So definitely the interruption arc is produced between the two contacts. So as a result, the moisture is deposited and remove the moisture, and some unwanted broken pieces available are deposited within the plates or contacts. So remove also this and maintain the by using the sandpaper. So next, operating mechanism. So definitely every type of circuit breaker is needed for operating mechanism. So ensure that the operating mechanism function properly without binding engine or without delayed action, because the operating mechanism is one of the main parts in the circuit breaker, so it can interrupt the fault current. Hence, to ensure that the operating mechanism is properly actioning. So next one, auxiliary devices. Some of the auxiliary supporting devices is required for every type of circuit breaker. So make sure all auxiliary devices like switches, alarms, shunt trip devices, or non-voltage trip devices are fully functioning and properly set. So some of the auxiliary devices like switches, alarm, that is tripping devices, voltage, non-voltage tripping devices are properly functioning. So you have to check the auxiliary devices during their operation of the circuit breaker is properly functioning and fully properly functioning and properly set. Next, third one, sulfur hexafluoride circuit breaker. So again, this type of circuit breaker requires the maintenance schedule. So in this type of circuit breaker, the two maintenance category are employed for maintenance of SF6 circuit breaker. So first one is breakdown maintenance. Breakdown maintenance. The second one is preventative maintenance. So what do you mean by breakdown maintenance? So in this maintenance undertaking after the failure of the equipment. So what it means, the failure of the circuit breaker, the maintenance is needed. So this type of circuit breaker includes locating the troubles, repair and recommissioning. After the failure of circuit breaker, the location of the trouble in the circuit breaker and also repair or recommissioning. So this requirement of maintenance is called breakdown maintenance. Next one is preventative maintenance. So this is one of the precautionary maintenance. That means the maintenance is undertaking as per the scheduled. We have already mentioned every type of circuit breaker so needed for periodic maintenance of 3 to 4 months during their operation. So preventative maintenance need as per the schedule before breakdown. That is the important before breakdown of a system. This includes cleaning, inspection, lubricating and retightening. So this is the criteria for preventative maintenance of circuit breaker. So again, the SF6 circuit breaker needs the following routine check. What are there? So first one, checking of SF6 gas. So the gas pressure is usually 2.8 kg per centimeter. Check the gas pressure. So for every duration of the maintenance schedule. The second one is checking of oil leaks from grading capacitor. So the leakage of oil, suppose if possible, so check the leakage of oil. Then third one is SF6 gas leak test. Again, the gas is SF6 gas is used as a main media for arc interruption. So therefore, check the leakage of SF6 gas. And finally, measurement of SF6 gas to ensure the required quantity. We already tell that the level or the quantity of gas SF6 gas is 2.8 kg per centimeter. So the measurement of SF6 gas should be required quantities is available, so check it. So last one, maintenance of vacuum circuit breaker. So vacuum circuit breaker also needs some of the important maintenance schedule. The first one is vacuum interrupter is sealed for a life. So it is a vacuum interrupter is one of the chamber for interrupting in a vacuum circuit breaker is permanently sealed for long time and does not require any replacement of contacts. Does not required for replacement of contact, either moving contact as well as fixed contact. So it not required for replacement for 1000 load operation and also several hundreds of operation on rated short circuits. So it does not replacement here. The second point is mechanism needs periodic lubrication. Definitely every circuit breaker having their own tripping mechanism. So these mechanisms should be periodically lubricated as recommended by the manufacturer. So the last one, the other parts need cleaning and general inspection. So remaining parts should be cleaning for routine scheduled of maintenance and finally for general checkups. So these are the some important types of circuit breaker maintenance schedule. So related to the maintenance of different types of circuit breaker, some of the multiplication question is arise. The first question is the speed of the circuit interruption in forced blast circuit breaker is the speed of the circuit interruption. So definitely very circuit breaker the interruption takes place during the fault conditions. The speed of the circuit breaker in forced blast circuit breaker is first one is slow, medium, fast, none of the above. So if you observe the above answer, it is suitable as anyone. So the speed of the circuit breaker is slow in the forced blast circuit breaker for arc interruption or media or fast. So definitely if you think the answer is fast. Second question. In low oil circuit breaker, the oil performs the function because we know the types of oil circuit breaker having two category. One is called bulk oil circuit breaker and low oil circuit breaker. In bulk oil circuit breaker, it performs two functions. So first one is the arc interruption, second one is for insulating the current carrying contacts. Whereas in low oil circuit breaker, the oil performs definitely first choice insulation only, second one arc extension only, and third one both insulation and arc extension only, and fourth one none of the above. So in low oil circuit breaker, the oil performs the function of definitely arc extension only, not for insulation, and both insulation as well as the arc interruption, because in bulk oil circuit breaker, the purpose having the bulk oil circuit breaker, the oil performs insulation as well as the arc extension. The second question: for interruption of high voltage and low current, the circuit breaker. The first one, the interruption of high voltage and low current circuit breaker is a vacuum circuit breaker, oil circuit breaker, and air blast circuit breaker, or none of the above. Second one, air blast circuit breaker, oil circuit breaker, and none of all of the above. So for the interruption of high voltage, low current, so definitely the vacuum circuit breaker. Next, fourth one. Resistance switching is normally restored in case of air blast circuit breaker. Second one, bulk oil circuit breaker, and fourth one, low oil circuit breaker, and all type of circuit breaker. So the above type of circuit breaker really resistance switching is normally restored agata in case of. So definitely the air blast circuit breaker restores the resistance switching. And fifth question: arc interruption takes place in an oil circuit breaker when? So first option, contacts move apart. Second one, voltage goes through zero. Third one, current goes through zero. And fourth one, none of the above. Arc interruption takes place in oil circuit breaker, so definitely the current through the zero, then only the arc interruption takes place. So the answer is current goes through zero. So next one, sixth one. In an oil circuit breaker, dash is used as the arc. In an oil circuit breaker, dash is used as the arc. So first one is some mineral oil like transformer oil having high dielectric strength as well as high thermal conductivity and good insulation. So the arc, the oil circuit breaker, dash is used for the arc. Some mineral oil. Second one, air. Third one is both air and as well as mineral oil, and none of the above. So answer is definitely some mineral oil, because in oil circuit breaker the media for arc extension is oil. Next, seventh one. Forced blast circuit breaker have dash speed of circuit interruption. Forced blast. Forced definitely it high pressure blast circuit breaker have dash speed of circuit interruption. First one is low, second one is high, and third one is medium, and fourth one is none of the above. So definitely the above questions forced blast circuit breaker. So answer is high. So next question, eighth one. In low oil circuit breaker, dash is used for insulation purpose. So in low oil circuit breaker, dash is used for insulation for purpose. Low oil as well as bulk oil are the two types of circuit breaker. So in bulk oil, the oil performs two functions. One is called insulation as well as the arc interruption. In low oil circuit breaker, the oil performs only for arc interruption. So here in low oil circuit breaker, dash is used for insulation purpose. Solid mineral, then oil and air, and none of the above. So definitely oil is not used for insulation purpose in oil circuit breaker. Some solid minerals is used for insulations of the oil circuit breaker. Next, ninth one. When the circuit breaker operates under fault conditions, the greatest noise is produced in. So the noise produced is in the greatest form in what type of circuit breaker is the question. So first one is oil circuit breaker. Second one is air blast circuit breaker, and third one is vacuum circuit breaker, and fourth one is SF6 circuit breaker. So here the question is, when the circuit breaker operates under fault conditions, what type of circuit breaker produces the great noise during their operation? So definitely the air blast circuit breaker produces a greatest noise in the operation duration. So the last multiple questions is, current chopping mainly occurs in. So the chopping of current occurs in the operation of circuit breaker is air blast circuit breaker. The second one is oil circuit breaker, and third one is SF6 circuit breaker, and last one is vacuum circuit breaker. So current chopping mainly ಈ some following types ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಒಂದು ಏರ್ ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಯಿಲ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಬ್ರೇಕರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂಡ್ SF6 ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಬ್ರೇಕರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಯೂಮ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಬ್ರೇಕರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ air blast circuit breaker. So current chopping is mainly occurring air blast circuit breaker. So this was the some important informations regarding the maintenance of different types of circuit breaker. So thank you.